Hello guys and welcome to a new Part of Exile guide. And today we are going to talk about the Atlas strategy. So this is not going to be a full in-depth guide about how everything works, but it's just going to cover the fastest way to get all the Watchstones, 32 of them, from 0 on. So that should be your strategy if you want to race to higher tier maps to gain more profit. And yeah, let's just start. So first of all, one thing to mention, or like two things to mention, is first of all, we're gonna race really fast in the map tiers. That means if you have like a build that struggles a lot, wherever you're gonna struggle, you just want to stick there, farm some currency, invest it to your character as fast as possible to be able to do higher tier maps, because it doesn't make sense if you die all the time. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And with that being said, like if you have a character that can rush through the maps, the estimated time to reach 0 to 32 watchstones is around 12 to 15 hours. Like if you just really want to progress. So this is a really fast method. And also things like some tips I can give you before we also start is always think about to use Xana. Xana is selling maps. So that means whenever you are doing a Xana mission or you free a citadel, she has new maps here. And you can just buy them. The low tier maps mostly with Chains Orbs. So you're also gonna need a lot of Chains Orbs. So that means activate Chains Orbs in your loot filter as well to pick them up, so you don't have to buy them. This strategy is also viable for solo self-found. Well, in solo self-found you have to live with whatever you get, right? In trade you can just buy some if you are missing them. So keep in mind that you can use Chains Orbs, and keep in mind that you can use Orb of Horizons to get other maps faster. That are like the two things that a lot of people are not using, and you should really do that. So now let's just start. And at the beginning, we're obviously gonna start with tier 1 maps, right? So you probably have found some already in the story mode, and you get one from Kirak whenever you free him. So if you have like all the 4 tier 1 maps, you want to do them all before you even start. So that means you can do Mausoleum, Tower, Park, and Volcano map. If you have them completed, you just want to go straight up to one of the areas. What I personally do is I go first to Lex Actuaries, but it doesn't matter, you can go to any of the corner maps that you want. The reason for that is we need to kill a conqueror in each of the corner maps, the corner areas. So that means we need to kill a conqueror in Lex Actuaries, we need to kill a conqueror in Lera Artane, a conqueror in New Vesture, and a conqueror in Havoc Hamlet before we can start to do the inner circle maps. And how we want to do this is we want to reach these corner areas as fast as possible. So that means in that case for Lex Actuaries, we want to complete a tower map. We want to do fields map. After that, we want to go to arena map. We also want to complete that. And then we're gonna do arena maps until we drop a pen map or a siege map. Then we're gonna do 3 maps in the Lex Actuaries. And after we've done the 3 maps, the conqueror will spawn. The first conqueror is always Baron, if that matters to someone, but whatever. So you're gonna kill him, then you get your first watchstone, and after that we want to go to the second area. One thing probably you also want to know is if you're gonna complete a tier 3 map, you're gonna spawn also a citadel. So that means if you do the arena map, which you have to do, you're gonna spawn the citadel, so you can put watchstones in it to upgrade the map tiers. So you probably also have it for Lex Actuaries, because you also have to do normally a tier 3 map. If you was able to get a siege map first, you also want to do a pen map, you should drop one. It should be no problem to drop a pen map in a siege map before you're done with the 3 maps. And you want to free the citadels, okay? So after we killed the conqueror, we just gonna put one watchstone in here because we want to be able to get the Lex Proxima maps for later already. So that means our tower map is a tier 4, our other maps are tier 5, tier 6, and we want to be able to drop them. And then we're just gonna head over to the next map, as an example to Tyr's End. And how we want to go over here is Mausoleum, then Desert Spring. The reason why we want to go this way is basically if we have done Desert Spring, we can actually already drop a cemetery map. If we drop a shore map, we don't want to do it because it is a tier 3 map. But if we can drop an underground river map, we also want to do that because then we have 2 tier 2 maps that we can drop, and we always can get 1 tier 3 map out of this area. As soon as we are in Havoc Hamlet, we're gonna complete it, get the Watchstone, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then we are done with this area. So we go to the next area, New Vestia, do the same thing, get the Watchstone, kill the Conqueror, go to Liara Artane, kill the Conqueror, get the Watchstone, and we are done. So after this, after we got one Watchstone in each area, we're gonna go back to Lex Proxima. And here we should probably have some maps already, because we was doing tier 3, tier 4 maps. So we had a chance to drop Lex Proxima maps already. That's the reason why we was putting this Watchstone in at the beginning already. And then we're gonna do them. We also wanna do a tier 3 map in Tyr's End or in Valdo's Rest at this point to get the Citadel. If we have the Citadel, doesn't matter if it's Valdo's Rest or Tyr's End, but if we have the Citadel, we want to put 2 Watchstones in because this is going to be the next area that we farm. But yeah, you don't have to care about this already, you just want to set this up. So that means as soon you want to begin with Lex Proxima, make sure that you have 2 Watchstones in this area. And now we're just gonna begin, so we probably have some tower maps, maybe we have some that's fields maps, which is tier 5, so that was the way we was going to go to Lex Azure, so we probably can drop them. And if we have them, we're just gonna do them obviously. We also just need to do 3 maps, and then the first Conqueror spawns, then we're gonna do 3 maps in Lex Proxima again, get the second Conqueror, and we want to kill 4 Conquerors, so that means we just need to have 1 Watchstone in the Citadel and get all the Watchstones from this area, because the area just needs to have 1 Watchstone in it to get all the Conquerors. After that, after we killed all of those, we was probably able to drop some park maps as an example, because we're also gonna do tier 7 maps, tier 6 maps. So we can drop park maps as well. And then we just gonna do them. So we're gonna complete here all the Conquerors. Before we are doing that, we are going to remove this Watchstone, we don't need it anymore. And we're gonna put 3 Watchstones over there. So what we are doing now is basically the same thing. So we're just gonna complete Valdo's Rest again, as we did it with Lex Proxima. Just this time with 2 Watchstones, we're gonna kill the first Conqueror, the second, the third, the fourth, and we are done with this area. So after we are done with this, we're gonna remove the Watchstones again. And we're gonna put 4 Watchstones in Glen Arcanes. Yep, come over here. And now we are doing Tyr's End. We are doing the first Conqueror, second, third, fourth, done. And then when we are going to Glen Arcanes, we are just taking this Watchstones out again. And we just gonna do Glenor, and we are able to farm Watchstones over here already. Maps, sorry. So we're gonna drop our maps here while we are doing this. So we want to complete this area first. After we have done Glen Arcanes, we're gonna take out the Watchstones, gonna put them in the next area over here. Just show it one more time. Okay, so now we can do New Vestia, because we also dropped some maps already, because we was doing Glen Arcanes with 4 Watchstones. And after we have done this, we're gonna kill our first Awakener. Then we're gonna go to the next map. Also one thing, you just need to kill 3 Conquerors over here. Because we have done a Conqueror already at the beginning, right? Like at the beginning we was going to the corner zones and we was doing 1 Conqueror already in each zone. So that means you want to spawn the first 3 of them and then just go to the next area, complete this, making watchstones over here, completing this area, making watchstones over here, completing this area, and then you are done. One thing to do as well that I forgot is if you do a tier 5 map and you have Xana missions, normal Xana missions, whenever you are doing a tier 5 map, you want to use the Xana missions as well, because then Xana also refreshes, right? So she has new maps to buy. And you can obviously also find sometimes maps in the Xana as well that you want to do and that you want to complete to make the progress faster. And then for yellow maps, it's the same. So if you have a tier 10 map, you want to do them there. For red tier maps, it is basically if you have a tier 14 map or higher, because at tier 14 map, you're always going to use 4 watchstones, and at this point, it's fine. And then for the maps, you always want to use alchemy. So that means if you start with tier 1 maps, you also gonna throw alchemies right from the start on. If you play solo self-found, well, you have to see how much you have. Basically in solo self-found, you're also gonna pick up rare items, you're gonna identify them to see if you can get upgrades. So you should also have enough alchemies. Like alchemies should be never a problem. So for white maps, you want to use alchemies unless your build is still not able to do them really well and you're just gonna die a lot. In that case, it is not worth to risk to fail a map, right? So you're gonna go with transmutes, but you should upgrade your character as fast as possible to be able to use alchemies. And then after you reach yellow tiers, you want to use chisels as well. And at tier 6, tier 7, tier 8, I also gonna use sextants. They should also not cost a lot at the beginning. Maybe they cost 1 chaos orb each. For a lot of people that sounds a lot, but you get the currency back. Like, you just have to trust on me. You just get the currency back and you always want to use them. And then at red tier maps, you also want to add veil orbs to it. And at tier 14 maps, I also reroll maps to have at least 75% quant or higher. And well, that's the way you want to do it. And then you should never have problems to not be able to sustain maps. Also, obviously, whenever you're done with a region, so let's say you're done with Lex Proxima with 1 watchstone, right? You're never gonna use these maps anymore. You can sell them. Obviously, on that point, we just hope that not everyone was watching the guide and following it, and we can sell them to newer players, like players that was just slower with the story mode, or that just don't know how to progress the Atlas, so you can sell them to them, and they can just buy them, and then you can make some profit as well with it. And as soon you are in red tier maps, you can sell everything else, because you don't really need it, unless you want to farm any low tier maps. And that's basically it. So, well, I hope this guide helped you a little bit out. It was not the best guide for me, obviously not, because I didn't have time to prepare a lot, because I also have to test a lot of builds for the league. But yeah, just in case you are missing any guides and you want to know something before the next league starts, just make a comment and we will look if we can make a guide for it as fast as possible to make sure that every one of you has a proper league start. And good luck, guys. See you.